Listen, Ronald Reagan was an actor. Trump was a reality star. John Kennedy is the most entertaining American politician today.
Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. All boys aren't blue. And I will quote from it. I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All boys aren't blue.
Senator, your definition of sexual is synonymous with LGBTQ identity.
I don't want LGBTQ people to feel singled out. There's a whole universe of books that are inappropriate for young readers. You just have to read to know what they are.
Well, I'm asking you, how do we decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available in the library? What would you, if you were running things, what would you do?
All Boys Aren't Blue, the scene you mentioned, is about sexual abuse.
I know what it's about.
It's not
what
erotic.
Would you do?
Students who do not read books like All Boys Aren't Blue cannot learn what is appropriate.
I understand that.
They cannot learn.
I understand, but none of you want to answer.
So here's the thing about sexual content in books. No matter what the author intended in the scene, some people are going to find it sexy. 50 Shades of Grey also depicts sexual abuse. People mostly read 50 Shades of Grey for the sexuality of it to get off. You know, people are not reading 50 Shades of Grey thinking about this is the dynamics of an abusive relationship. And there's tons of books that I read that I would not let my kids read until they're older. Like, I love Chuck Palahniuk. My Chuck Palahniuk books are hidden in the attic. My kids are not reading Chuck Palahniuk for a while. He's a great author. He's contributed a lot to American literature. He's not appropriate in any way, shape, or form until they get mature enough. Also, Salman Rushdie. I would not suggest that. I saw a reading list of great Black authors that high school students should read. And one of the ways that I know that the person who wrote it did not read those books is one of them was Toni Morrison's The Song of Solomon. I've read The Song of Solomon. It's a great book, and I'd love to talk about it. However, The Song of Solomon has incest as its main love story. That's not something you want to hand off to younger kids. Stephen King wrote Rage in 1977. His intention wasn't to cause school shootings. His intention was just to write a book, a horror book. But people read the book and they did shoot up schools. So if there's one thing we can learn from that, it's that young people really don't understand symbolism. They don't understand that books sometimes aren't saying what they're saying on the surface. And that's why we teach literature to young people, because they don't have the intuitive understanding of that on their own. And we can't give books to people who are going to take them literally until they're ready. That's a pretty simple concept. And I think anyone who's read Chuck Palahniuk's books probably shouldn't start a fight club. Don't start a fight club. Don't do terrorism.
Answer my question. You come here and you say censorship is bad. And of course it's bad. But the obvious response is, okay, you heard the books we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about Catcher in the Rye. So tell me what you want, who gets to decide. And all I've heard is the librarians. And parents have nothing to do with it. And if that's your response, what planet did you just parachute in from?